The first time Vivian betrayed me, we were 5 years old. She told everyone at show and tell that the butterfly drawing I'd made was actually hers. I cried, she apologized, and we pinky promised to be best friends forever. 23 years later, I really should have remembered that moment. I'm Reese, and until 6 months ago, I was living my dream as an up and coming fashion designer in New York. Vivian and I shared a cramped apartment in Brooklyn, spending our nights sketching designs and sharing bottles of cheap wine, dreaming about the day we'd see our creations on runways. Reese! Reese! Oh my god, check your email! Vivian burst through my bedroom door one morning, still in her silk pajamas, her laptop clutched to her chest. I grabbed my phone, heart racing. There it was, the email from Threaded, the biggest reality fashion competition show in the country. My hands shook as I opened it. "Dear Ms. Morris, congratulations! You have been selected!" I screamed. Vivian screamed. We jumped up and down like we were 5 years old again. "You have to be my assistant," I said, grabbing her hands. "Please, you know my work better than anyone. We've designed together for years." "Of course." Vivian hugged me tight. I wouldn't miss it for the world. The next few weeks were a blur of preparation. I stayed up late finalizing my portfolio, refining sketches, and planning my competition pieces. Vivian was always there, offering feedback, bringing me coffee, taking photos for memories. One night, I caught her hunched over my sketchbook while I was coming back from the bathroom. She snapped it shut quickly. "Just admiring your work," she said with that bright smile I'd known since kindergarten. "These designs are incredible, Reese. You're going to win this thing." I should have noticed how her eyes didn't quite meet mine. 2 days before filming was set to begin, my phone exploded with notifications. The show had announced its contestants on Instagram. I opened the post, expecting to see my name. Instead, I saw Vivian's face, smiling back at me. Introducing our youngest contestant this season, the innovative Vivian Garrett. My hands went numb. I clicked through her portfolio photos. There they were, my designs, my sketches, my dreams, but with her name attached. "Viv?" I called out, my voice cracking. She was in the living room, already on her phone. "I can explain," she said quietly, not looking up. "Explain what? How you stole my work? How you submitted behind my back?" "Stolen is such an ugly word." She finally met my eyes. "We've always shared inspiration, haven't we? Besides, you know I've helped you refine these designs for months." "Helped me? They're my original concepts? My sketches?" "My Are you sure about that?" Her voice turned cold. "Because I have time-stamped files showing my design process, and really, who's going to believe the bitter friend who couldn't get on the show herself?" The door opened. Colton, her influencer boyfriend, walked in with his usual smirk. "Baby, the car's here. We need to get to the studio." He looked at me with mock concern. "Oh, Reese, you okay? You look upset." "She's fine," Vivienne said, gathering her bags. "Just a little disappointed she didn't make the cut." I stood there, frozen, as they walked out. 23 years of friendship walked out that door with them. My phone buzzed again. Another email from the show. "Dear Ms. Morris, we regret to inform you that your application has been withdrawn due to concerning allegations regarding the originality of your submitted work." I sank to the floor, my world crumbling around me. The butterfly drawing from kindergarten flashed through my mind. The first time Vivian had stolen my work. But this time, there would be no pinky promises, no easy forgiveness. This time, she'd stolen more than just a drawing. She'd stolen my future. I watched the premiere of Threaded from my childhood bedroom, surrounded by moving boxes and the ghosts of my former life. The show's dramatic opening sequence felt like a knife twisting in my gut. And here's Vivian, our youngest contestant, bringing fresh perspective to sustainable fashion. The host's voice boomed as the camera panned across my, no, apparently now her, signature recycled denim design. My phone buzzed. A text from Naomi. "Are you watching this? Girl, that's your piece from last summer." I couldn't respond. I was too focused on Vivian's first interview segment. "I've always believed in ethical fashion," she said, wearing the earnest expression I'd seen her practice in our bathroom mirror countless times. These designs come from my heart, from watching my grandmother sew. That's my grandmother's story, I whispered to the empty room. My hands were shaking so hard I nearly dropped my phone. The next morning, I tried one last time to make things right. I waited outside the studio where they filmed, hoping to catch her between takes. Vivian! I called out when I spotted her heading to her car. She turned, and for a split second, I saw fear flash across her face before it settled into practiced concern. Reese, you shouldn't be here, she said, glancing around nervously. Please, just tell them the truth. Those designs, the sustainable collection, the recycled denim concept, we developed those together in our apartment. You know they're mine. Honey, she said, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. I know you're upset about not making the cut, but this is getting embarrassing. Those designs were inspired by conversations we had, sure, but the execution, the final vision, that's all me. But the sketches? What sketches? Colton appeared beside her, towering over me. The ones you copied from her laptop when she wasn't looking. What? I never save it, he sneered. Vivian's already told the producers about your obsession with her work. Security knows not to let you in. My phone started buzzing. Instagram notifications. I opened them with trembling fingers. Vivian Garrett, sad when people can't handle others' success, sending love and light to those who need it most. Threaded show. Spread love, not hate. The comments flooded in. Stay strong, Queen. Some people just can't stand seeing others shine. Imagine being so jealous you'd try to steal someone's designs. That night, I got an email from the boutique that had offered me a job last month. Dear Reese, in light of recent allegations regarding design authenticity, we regret to inform you. I couldn't read the rest through my tears. Desperate, I called my mother. Mom, everything I worked for is gone. She's stolen it all. Oh, sweetie, my mother sighed. Maybe this is a sign. You could come home, get a real job. Vivian's always been more suited for that world anyway. I hung up. Later, while packing up my room, I found an old shoebox filled with USB drives. One was labeled Portfolio Backups 2022. With shaking hands, I plugged it into my laptop. There they were, all my original files, sketches, design notes, progress photos, everything dated months before Vivian's original concepts appeared on the show. My phone buzzed again. A DM from Riley, one of the show's editors. I've seen some things that don't add up. If you have proof, keep it safe. The truth has a way of coming out. I stared at the message for a long time, then at the USB drive in my hand. For the first time since this nightmare began, I felt something other than despair. Vivian might have stolen my designs, but she'd forgotten one thing. I'd learned to document everything after that butterfly drawing incident in kindergarten. She wasn't the only one who knew how to play the long game. I opened my laptop and started a new document. Title: The Truth About Vivian Garrett. The game wasn't over, it was just beginning. You know what your problem is? Mila said, tossing back her purple hair as she poured us both another glass of wine. You're too nice, like pathologically nice. I'd met Mila through a roommate finding app after I could no longer afford my old apartment. She worked as a bartender and ran a tech blog on the side. More importantly, she had zero connection to the fashion world and zero tolerance for bullshit. Look at this, she said, pulling up Vivian's latest Instagram post. Every caption is perfectly crafted PR speak. Grateful for this journey? Please, she's a snake in designer clothing. A snake wearing my designs, I muttered, scrolling through the comments. Thousands of hearts, hundreds of supportive messages. Show me those files again, Mila said, grabbing my laptop. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. These metadata timestamps are solid gold. Every sketch, every revision, every email, it's all here. My phone buzzed. Naomi. Hey, she said when I answered. I need to tell you something, but not over the phone. Can we meet? An hour later, we sat in a quiet corner of a coffee shop. Naomi kept looking over her shoulder. I work in production now, she said, leaning forward. And I heard something. Before the show started, Vivian went to the producers. She told them you were unstable, obsessed with her success, said you might try to sabotage the show. My coffee cup froze halfway to my mouth. She what? She made sure you'd never get near the production. She was covering her tracks before she even started. Back at the apartment, I told Mila everything. That's actually perfect, Mila said, her eyes lighting up. She's created a paper trail of her own lies. Give me an hour. She disappeared into her room, emerging with a detailed spreadsheet. Look, every time she posted about her designs, every interview where she claimed them, every legal document she signed claiming originality, it's all evidence. Evidence of what? A premeditated fraud. She grinned. I have a friend who works in intellectual property law. Want to meet her? The next day, I sat across from Angela, a sharp eyed lawyer who looked younger than me. The timestamps are crucial, she said, examining my files. But what's really interesting is this pattern of behavior, the deliberate discrediting, the careful narrative construction. Can we prove it? With more documentation, yes. But she hesitated. Legal battles are expensive and messy. My phone lit up with a text from Riley. Check your email, now. I opened it to find a video clip. It showed Vivian in the show's workroom late at night, pulling up my old emails on her laptop, meticulously copying my sketches. Holy shit, Mila breathed, looking over my shoulder. Where did you get this? I texted Riley. Security cameras. I'm not the only one who noticed things weren't adding up. Another text came through, this time from Naomi. Vivian has been nominated for Designer of the Year. She's giving a speech next month at the awards ceremony. Perfect timing, Mila said, a wicked gleam in her eye. What better place to expose a fraud than in front of the entire industry? But how? She's made sure I can't get anywhere near. My phone buzzed again. Vivian's number. I hadn't seen it pop up in months. Reese, can we talk? Her voice was honey sweet, just like in kindergarten after the butterfly incident. I've been thinking. I want you there at the ceremony, as my muse. I want to acknowledge our journey together. I caught Mila's eye. She was already nodding. That would be nice, I said carefully. I'd like that. Perfect. I'll have my team send you the details. And Reese, I've missed you. The call ended. Mila was already typing furiously on her laptop. Operation Karma is a go, she announced. By the way, did you know the awards ceremony is being live streamed? Millions of viewers, all watching in real time. For the first time in months, I felt a smile spread across my face, not the kind, forgiving smile I used to wear. This was different. This was the smile of someone who had finally stopped playing nice. Let's give them a show they'll never forget. The key is to make her think she's won, Mila said, adjusting my hair in the mirror. We were preparing for my first public appearance with Vivian since the betrayal, a pre awards show brunch at some overpriced rooftop restaurant. Remember, she continued, she wants to paint you as the grateful friend who's moved past the drama. Play that role. My hands shook as I applied lipstick. What if I can't? Channel your inner actress. Besides, Mila held up her phone. I'll be across the street with perfect video coverage of everything. The restaurant was packed with fashion bloggers and industry insiders. Vivian sat at the center table like a queen holding court, Colton by her side. Reese! She stood up, arms outstretched. You came! The hug felt like being embraced by a python. Of course, I smiled, channeling her own fake sweetness. Wouldn't miss it. Everyone, Vivian announced to the table. This is my oldest friend, my inspiration, the one who's always believed in me. I caught several people exchanging knowing looks. They'd all heard the rumors about me being the obsessed friend who tried to steal her work. So touching, Colton drawled, his arm possessively around Vivian's waist. Like a Lifetime movie. Under the table, I pressed record on my phone. Tell us, Reese. A fashion blogger leaned forward. How does it feel seeing Vivian's success? Her designs are so unique. I felt Vivian's eyes on me, watching, waiting. It's been amazing, I said, my voice steady. watching these designs come to life. It's like seeing old dreams realized. Vivian's smile flickered for just a second. Speaking of designs, Colton interrupted, his voice carrying across the table, didn't you try to claim some of them were yours? Such ancient history now, right? The table went quiet. My phone kept recording. Ancient history, I agreed softly. Sometimes things get confused in creative partnerships. But there's no confusion now. Vivian jumped in quickly, which is why I want Reese beside me at the awards, to show how friendship transcends competition. My phone buzzed. A text from Mila. Got that whole exchange on video, perfect setup for later. After brunch, Vivian pulled me aside. Thank you, she said, for being gracious. I know this hasn't been easy. It's what friends do, right? Right. And wait until you hear my speech. I'm giving you such a beautiful shout out. The whole industry will see how much you mean to me. As if on cue, Colton appeared. Car's here, babe. He turned to me with that smirk. Nice performance today, Reese. Almost believed it myself. After they left, I ducked into the bathroom and called Mila. You won't believe what I just recorded, I said. Oh, yeah? Well, you won't believe what I just filmed, she replied. Colton was outside bragging to his friends. Quote, Vivienne's nothing without those designs her pathetic friend made. Got it all on camera. That night, I received an email from the awards show producers with my speaking points for the ceremony. I was supposed to talk about Vivienne's natural talent and original vision. I forwarded it to Riley. Perfect, she replied. I'll make sure you have access to the main presentation system. Just be ready. My phone lit up with a call from my mother. I saw the brunch photos online, she said. You're doing the right thing, letting this go. Vivian's success could help your career too, you know. I hung up without responding. Opening my laptop, I pulled up the video file Mila had compiled. Every piece of evidence, every timestamp, every recording, including today's. A new email popped up from Naomi. Stage and screen layouts for the ceremony attached. You'll have exactly 3 minutes between her speech and your introduction. I thought about Vivian's perfect smile at brunch, the way she'd presented me like a conquered enemy turned loyal subject. She thought she was writing the ending to this story, but I had other plans. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Riley. Everything's set. Hope you're ready to bring down the house. I smiled at my reflection in the dark laptop screen. Oh, I'm ready. You're making a terrible mistake, my mother said, pacing my childhood bedroom. I'd come home to get my grandmother's vintage brooch for the awards ceremony, but somehow ended up in another argument. The fashion industry is all about connections, Reese. If you do this, you'll never work again. If I don't do this, I'll never respect myself again. She grabbed my arm. Why can't you just be happy for Vivian? She's always been like a daughter to me. That's the problem, isn't it? I yanked my arm away. She was the daughter you wanted, the one who played by your rules. At least she knows how to succeed. Look at you, living with a bartender, plotting revenge like some teenager. My phone buzzed. Mila. Final video edit done. You need to see this. I have to go, I said, grabbing my grandmother's brooch from the dresser. Winners move on, Reese, my mother called after me. Victims stay behind. I slammed the door. Back at the apartment, Mila had transformed our living room into a command center. Laptops everywhere, timelines pinned to walls, screenshots arranged in sequence. Watch this, she said, pressing play. The compilation was devastating. Vivian copying my sketches, Colton bragging about the theft, email timestamps, social media posts where she'd slipped up and mentioned design elements she couldn't possibly have known about. It's bulletproof, Mila said. But, but what? But it's going to destroy her. Completely. Are you ready for that? Before I could answer, my phone rang. Riley. Bad news, she said. Vivian's team is doing a security sweep before the ceremony. They're checking all USB drives and external devices. My heart sank. So we can't. No, wait. I have an idea. The presentation system is cloud based. If we upload the file now and hide it in the awards show directory, they'll never think to look there. Mila finished, already typing. My phone buzzed again. Naomi. Vivian's doing press interviews, saying tomorrow night will be a celebration of authentic creativity. The nerve. I sat down hard on the couch, suddenly overwhelmed. What if this backfires? What if. Stop, Mila interrupted. Look at this. She pulled up Vivian's latest Instagram post. It was a photo of us from brunch, her arm around my shoulders. The caption read, "So grateful for those who support us even when they can't share our spotlight. Some people are meant to inspire, others to achieve." Blessed? Still having doubts? Mila asked. I touched my grandmother's brooch, remembering how she taught me to sew, how she believed in my dreams when no one else did. Upload the file, I said. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I checked my phone. 3 a.m. A text from Riley lit up the screen. Files in place, hidden but accessible. Once you're introduced, you'll have exactly 90 seconds to switch the presentations. After that, there's no going back. I got up and went to my closet, pulling out the dress I'd made for tomorrow night. Simple, elegant, every stitch a reminder of who I really was. My phone buzzed again. Vivian. Can't wait for tomorrow. Wear something subtle. You don't want to clash with my moment. Then another text from my mother. It's not too late to back out. Think about your future. I looked at myself in the mirror. Really looked. I saw the girl who believed in pinky promises, the woman who'd worked her way up from nothing, the designer who'd poured her soul into every sketch Vivian had stolen. My phone lit up one last time. Mila, whatever happens tomorrow, you're not alone. And you're not wrong. I touched the brooch pinned to my dress. Tomorrow I'd wear it on stage, a piece of my real history, my real self. No going back, I whispered to my reflection. The girl in the mirror smiled back. She wasn't the forgiving friend anymore. She wasn't the dutiful daughter. She was someone new, someone ready for war. The awards show venue buzzed with nervous energy. Camera crews darted between designer gowns and celebrity stylists while I stood in the shadows watching. Security check. A burly man in a headset approached me. Any electronic devices? I handed over my phone, already wiped clean. Naomi had warned me about this. She's with me. Riley appeared, flashing her producer badge. I'll escort her backstage. As we walked through the maze of corridors, Riley whispered, "Files still in place. Nobody suspected a thing." "Where's Reese?" Vivian's voice cut through the chaos. She floated toward us in a golden gown, my design, the one I'd sketched last summer for my grandmother's birthday celebration. "That dress," I managed to say. "Gorgeous, isn't it?" She twirled, "My tribute to vintage aesthetics. So many people have asked about my inspiration." Behind her, Colton snickered. "Places, everyone!" a stage manager called out. 5 minutes! Vivian grabbed my hands. "Ready to celebrate our friendship?" "Born ready," I smiled, feeling my grandmother's brooch press against my chest. The ceremony began. I watched from the wings as Vivian worked the crowd, accepting her nomination with practiced humility. The audience ate it up. "And now," the host announced, "a special presentation from our rising star." Vivian took the stage, radiant under the lights. "Success is sweeter when shared," she began, her voice thick with emotion. "Tonight, I want to honor someone special. My best friend, my muse, my biggest supporter, Reese." The crowd awed. Cameras turned toward me. Through every sketch, every stitch, she's been there, inspiring me, believing in me. My hands trembled as I pulled up the hidden file on my phone. Riley gave me a subtle nod from the tech booth. "And so," Vivian continued, "I'd like to share a video of our journey together." That was my cue. I stepped toward the stage. "Wait!" Colton grabbed my arm hard. "I know that look. You're planning something." "Let go of me. You ungrateful little problem here." A security guard approached. Colton released me, plastering on his influencer smile. "No problem. Just wishing my friend good luck." I reached the stage as Vivian finished her speech. The audience applauded. And now, she said, please welcome my dearest friend Reese. The lights felt hot. Cameras clicked. I saw my mother in the audience, her face tight with anxiety. Thank you, Vivian, I said into the microphone. You're right. Our journey together has been incredible. In fact, I'd like to share my own video of that journey. Vivian's smile flickered. Actually, she stepped forward. We should stick to the planned roll the clip, I said clearly into my mic. Riley, bless her, didn't hesitate. The massive screen behind us flickered, and there it was, the truth in high definition. Vivian hunched over my sketchbook, timestamps, emails, her own voice bragging about how she'd fooled everyone. The audience gasped. Vivian lunged for my microphone, but it was too late. The evidence kept playing, her careful lies unraveling in front of the entire industry. Turn it off! Colton shouted from the wings. Security! Vivian screamed, but the guards were transfixed by the screen. I stood still, watching her face as her perfect world crumbled. She turned to me, mascara starting to run. You don't understand, she hissed. I made these designs better. I made them matter. They always mattered, I said quietly. You just didn't. The video ended. Silence fell. Then someone stood up. Then another. And another. I knew those designs looked familiar, a famous designer called out. They were in Reese's portfolio when she interviewed with us last year. She showed me these concepts months before the show, another voice added. Vivian backed away from me, her golden dress, my design, catching the harsh stage lights. This isn't over, she whispered. You're right, I agreed. It's just beginning. As security finally arrived to manage the chaos, I touched my grandmother's brooch one last time and walked off stage. Behind me, I heard Colton yelling, cameras clicking, and the sweet, sweet sound of justice being served. The aftermath was nuclear. As I walked off stage, the auditorium erupted into chaos. Phones lit up everywhere, social media exploding in real time. Reese? Mila pushed through the crowd, phone in hand. It's trending. Oh, Vivian Gate Party is #1. Security guards rushed past us as Vivian's screams echoed from backstage. This is slander. I'll sue everyone. Good luck with that, Riley appeared, waving a stack of papers. Signed releases for all the footage, plus, you can't sue someone for showing the truth. A crowd of reporters swarmed around us, cameras flashing. Miss, can you comment on how long was she stealing your. Did you know about this, Riley? Was the show involved? Before I could answer, Colton burst through the crowd, his face red with rage. He grabbed my arm, spinning me around. You stupid bitch, he snarled. Do you know what you've done? We had contracts, deals, millions in sponsorships. Get your hands off her. Mila stepped forward, but security was faster, pulling him back. You're done, he spat as they dragged him away. Both of you are done. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages poured in. From Naomi. OMG, the producers are freaking out. Legal team reviewing everything. From Riley. Fashion Weekly wants an exclusive. Your story, your terms. From my mother. Please call me, please. A tall woman in an impeccable suit approached me. I'm Diana from Vogue. We'd like to do a feature. The real story behind the designs. Before I could respond, a commotion broke out near the exit. Vivian was trying to leave, but the crowd of photographers blocked her path. Move! She screamed, mascara streaking down her face. This isn't what it looks like. Reese is manipulating everyone. Our eyes met across the room. For a moment, I saw that 5-year-old girl with the stolen butterfly drawing. But this time, there were no tears in my eyes. Vivian, I called out, my voice carrying across the suddenly quiet room. The designs weren't the only things you stole. You took my trust. My friendship. My story. She froze. But here's the thing, I continued, aware of every phone recording this moment. You can't steal someone's talent or their truth. The silence was deafening. Then someone started clapping. Others joined in. Vivian fled through the service entrance, Colton chasing after her. That was incredible, Diana said, touching my arm. But what happens now? My phone buzzed again. A message from an unknown number. I'm Marcus from Independent Fashion House. We've been following your work. Your real work. Let's talk. Mila peered over my shoulder. Holy shit, independent? They're like the anti establishment heroes of ethical fashion. Suddenly, my mother pushed through the crowd. Reese, I'm so sorry. I should have. Not now, I said quietly. I can't do this now. She stepped back, nodding slowly, finally understanding boundaries. The next few hours were a blur of interviews, handshakes, and business cards. Fashion blogs were already running the story. Designer exposed, the real artist behind Vivian's original collection. Look at this. Riley showed me her tablet. Vivian's social media was imploding. Comments flooded every post. Fraud! Can't believe we fell for it. Team Reese all the way. They're pulling her collection from stores, Naomi texted. Every major retailer is distancing themselves. As the night wound down, I stood alone in the empty auditorium. The giant screen still flickered with the last frame of my video, a split screen of Vivian's designs next to my original sketches. Hey, Mila appeared beside me. You okay? I don't know, I admitted. I thought revenge would feel different. Different how? More satisfying? Less empty? She squeezed my hand. That's because you're not like her. You didn't do this for fame. You did it for truth. My phone lit up one last time. A final message from Vivian. You think you've won? You've just shown everyone how ruthless you really are. We're the same now. I deleted the message without responding. We weren't the same. We never had been. The truth was finally out. But as I stood there in the empty auditorium, I realized this wasn't really the end. It was just the beginning of my real story. The morning after the awards show, I sat in Marcus's sunlit office at Independent Fashion House, surrounded by mood boards and ethical fabric samples. These are extraordinary, he said, carefully examining my original sketches. The sustainability angle, the upcycling techniques. This is exactly what we've been looking for. Thank you, but you're worried about the controversy. He smiled. Reese, that's precisely why we want you. You stood up for integrity in an industry that rarely sees it. My phone buzzed. Another news alert. Fashion icon Vivian faces legal troubles as sponsors pull out. Have you seen this? Mila texted, linking to a viral video. Colton, clearly drunk, ranting outside a club. You think Vivian's some genius? She can barely sketch a straight line. But you all bought it, didn't you? Speaking of buying things, Marcus said, sliding a contract across the desk, we'd like to launch your first legitimate collection. Complete creative control. Your name, your vision. I touched my grandmother's brooch, now a permanent fixture on my blazer. I'd like to call it Phoenix. Perfect, he grinned. Rising from the ashes? Something like that. Back at the apartment, Mila was hosting an impromptu celebration with Naomi and Riley. To karma, Mila raised her glass, and to Vivian's last Instagram post hitting negative engagement. Actually, Riley said, checking her phone, her account's gone. Completely deleted. Same with Colton's. The doorbell rang. My mother stood there, holding a familiar box. I found these in the attic, she said softly. Your first designs. The ones you used to show me before I stopped looking. I took the box, remembering all those dismissed dreams. I was wrong, she continued. About everything. About Vivian. About you. Mom, no, let me finish. You were never the victim in this story. You were the hero. I just couldn't see it. My phone rang. Diana from Vogue. The story's ready, she said. But we need one more quote about forgiveness. I looked at my mother, still standing awkwardly in the doorway. At the box of childhood sketches. At the contract from Independent on my table. I didn't do this for forgiveness, I told Diana. I did it for justice. They're not the same thing. After I hung up, Naomi showed us her screen. Look who just got hired at a small town boutique in Ohio. There was Vivian, her perfectly curated image now replaced by a simple staff photo. No more golden dresses, no more stolen dreams. Should we feel bad? Mila asked. No, Riley said firmly. She made her choices. My laptop pinged. An email from Marcus. Collection launch date set. Your story, your designs, your moment. I opened my sketchbook, a new one, filled with fresh designs. No more looking back. No more dwelling on betrayal. Hey, Mila called from the kitchen. Someone sent you something. It was a small package, inside a handwritten note. I saved this from the show archives. You should have it back. Riley. Beneath the note lay a familiar piece of paper, my original butterfly drawing from kindergarten. The one Vivian had claimed as hers all those years ago. Riley must have found it in Vivian's background materials for the show. Full circle, Mila said, peering over my shoulder. I pinned the drawing to my inspiration board, right next to the independent contract. A reminder of where I started and how far I'd come. You know what's funny? I said, stepping back to look at it. I used to think revenge would change everything, but it didn't change me. It just showed me who I already was. My phone lit up one last time. A message from Marcus. Ready to show the world what real design looks like? I looked around my apartment, at my friends, my mother, my sketches, my future, at the butterfly drawing that started it all. Ready, I typed back. Not for revenge, not for vindication, but for something better, my own story, finally told in my own voice. I picked up my pencil and began to draw.